So to actually get started, you should have received an email to join the pilot license. Once you've accepted that email invitation, you just head over to polleverywhere.com and log in the top right. You'll be prompted to put in your password. So the password you've created for yourself, just use that to log in. Once you actually log into Poll Everywhere, this is what you see. So this is your home page. You can do a lot of things in Poll Everywhere at the home page. We'll walk through a few different things just as far as the interface so you're familiar with what sort of things are where as we get going. The home page is what you see when you first log in. So I'm just at the home page right now. We talked about the activity response URL. So I'd like to start there because this is probably most important to the way that you're using Poll Everywhere. This is essentially how you instruct students to respond to your Poll Everywhere questions. So how you would actually interact with my polling content would just be pollev.com/PE training. I suggest that you click the edit button on the home page here and customize that URL to something more specific to you. The place that you'll be spending the most time in Poll Everywhere is in the Activities tab here. So where we see these little charts. This is really where all of your poll content is living, all of the folders that you've created to organize your polls. So we're going to actually spend some time here as far as just some basic getting started items. The first thing that we actually want to do is create a folder. So folders are the primary organization system in Poll Everywhere. Folders are really what questions or polls do you use and when do you use them? So you see I have some poll or folders created here already. I did a webinar a few months ago, and then I have some courses here just for example and demonstration purposes. Folders are good because, right, those are the questions that you use in those specific sessions or instances. So I'd suggest right now creating 1 or 2 folders. So maybe the courses that you're planning to use Poll Everywhere in. If we click the folder button, we'll be prompted to input a name. I'll just call it today's training. Now I have that folder created. So now as we start to create poll questions, it's easy for us to file those in one place and access them later. Now I know that any polls that I create for today's training are within the today's training folder. Within the folder, click the blue button. That will take us to the activity gallery with all of the different poll options we have available. So multiple choice is good for fast formative assessment, right? A, B, C, D, true, false type questions. Word clouds are really good for getting the conversation or class started, right? They're really fun. They're really geared around one-word responses, so really generates some excitement and helps boost engagement and participation. Q&A allows you to kind of flip the conversation and have students ask you questions. So it could be as something as, what question do you have about today's material? And students can ask questions pretty simply through the Q&A function. We can upload images and ask questions about them or even do live trivia. So this is where you'll start to kind of determine, hey, what sort of polls do I feel are most impactful for my teaching? I certainly recommend having some multiple choice polls so we can assess student understanding in the moment, right? What concepts are they grasping? What items maybe need more follow-up and attention? So let's just create a test question here and walk through the workflow together. We'll just say something pretty simple. What's your favorite meal of the day? Once we put in a response, we can easily tab and put in additional responses. We can designate correctness within the multiple choice question creation. So select one or all that apply. Also use images. So upload an image to complement the title of our question, or maybe we're uploading a picture of pancakes for breakfast. So up to you how creative you'd like to get with the look and feel of your Poll Everywhere poll page. We can see it's filed in today's training, so I know that when I need to access this later, this will be in the right folder. And then we'll click the Create button. We do have access to a lot of different settings and configurations for our polls. So like we talked about before, are you managing certain response settings for your polls, right? If it's a graded question, maybe you want to limit that to one response per student. Or if you're just encouraging conversation, then we can just make that as many times as they like. We do have an SMS texting function, so you can set whether you're using website voting like we're using now. You can also enable SMS voting. Also within the question configurations, you can manage the look and feel of your polls. So if you have some preferences around the type of charts that you show, you can toggle between the different options, bar chart, column chart, or donut chart. You can also manage things like the font or color schemes. So anything look and feel related to your poll questions themselves, you can manage within visual settings.
Thank you for watching. Please email oit@pointloma.edu with any further questions.